Blutbad.
Hello and welcome back to another behind-the-scenes toy photography video. Today I'll show you how to create silhouettes with backlighting. I call this shot Astrogation Problem. I'll also show you my editing process in Photoshop. For this shot I used the main cast of skeleton crew from Hasbro's Star Wars The Black series. The most recent episode of Skeleton Crew is out, and the shot of the main cast walking to the observatory really stood out to me. So much so that I thought I would try to recreate it for this week's photo. The most important element of this shot was the bright swirling clouds of a gas giant on the horizon, so I began my work by setting up my background TV with a real photo of Jupiter from NASA's Juno mission. I did edit the original photo slightly to make it look a bit less recognizable as Jupiter. Next, I created a platform out of cinder blocks to place my figures on. I covered the platform with a fitted sheet to recreate the terrain. Using wrinkly sheets or even scrunched up paper is a really easy way to make rocky looking terrain. With the scene in place, all that was left was to place my figures. In the past, I would have used figure stands to pose my characters in a walking pose, but these figures were stable enough that I could just carefully balance them in place. A few last minute adjustments to the lighting and it was time to shoot. Here's my starting image. This was one of the rare instances where I got the shot almost exactly how I wanted it in camera, so there wasn't a lot to edit. I began my edit with some touch-ups. I first filled in the gap at the top of the image before editing out the articulation joints on the figures. Next, I added adjustment layers for levels, color balance, hue, and saturation. After that, I imported this nice rock texture that I overlaid on my fitted sheet to make it look more like solid ground. I achieved this with layer masking and setting my texture layers blend mode to multiply. Lastly, I did some dodging to enhance the highlights on my silhouettes. So once again, here's my starting image. And here's where I ended up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please consider liking and subscribing, and maybe check me out on Instagram. Thanks, and until next time.